Okay, well, let's get started. So make sure you've got some water there. You'll need a stick and a foam roller today. And just going to share some music. Okay, can everyone hear me over the top of the music okay? Just give me a thumbs up. Great. All right, we'll do a little bit of shoulder loosening to start with. So I'd like you to just alternate your shoulders. Try to keep the middle part of your body still as you just lift your shoulder, press it back and then down. So lift, press and down. And then if you can do both at the same time, so up to your ears, squeeze and push down. Up and really squeeze and press down. And then just alternating coming forwards. Start to let your upper body rotate as you do it now. So you're going to turn your upper body, but keep the lower half quite still. And then both coming forwards at the same time. And we're going to roll down, touch the toes, and then roll up, roll your shoulders back. So we're going to roll the shoulders forwards, touch your toes, and then on the way up, we're going to roll it back. And do that again. Breathe in at the top, breathe out, drop down. And then just do that one more time. Taking the feet just a little bit wider than your hips. If you can soften your knees, so bend and rotate, look behind. Rotate, look behind, and let your arms sort of be a bit floppy, a bit loose. Kind of hanging the arms a little bit. Just let them now wrap around your body. So sort of floppy ragdoll arms. And then sweeping down and up. Down and up. Keeping the feet quite wide as you come down, sit into it. Get some height on the arms. And then coming to stand on the one leg, circling the knee. Can you do it without putting your foot on the floor? Point your toes and reach into your fingertip ends. Take a moment just to lengthen your posture. So imagine someone's pulling you up. My little hair on the top of your head. And then reversing, knee coming in, down and around. So up to the side. Can you make the circle bigger there? Wobbling compulsory. Let's give that a go on the other side. So knee up to the side and around. Can you do it without putting your foot on the floor? Having that as your aim. Point your toes. Circling bigger. And then reversing. And last one. Dropping into a squat and then release. Swing in the arms and release. Sit your bottom down into it. Breathe. Now, last couple. It's going to get warm tonight. One of those nights, isn't it, where I definitely had a few layers on this morning and then gradually it's got a bit hotter throughout the day. We're going to go across on the diagonal now. Can you bring your elbow to the knee and then tap your toe down and just nice and slowly on these, rounding your upper body and then reaching. Now you can either do it with your toe tapped down or do it with your foot hovered off the floor just to test your balance. Breathing in as you reach, breathing out as you round. So 2 more. And final one, and then give that a go on the other side. So just do the toe tapping version to start with and reach through your toes And then once you've got it, see if you can hover the toes just off the ground. Really extending through the leg. Last couple. So final one. Alrighty, and then taking the feet just a little bit wider. Bit of turn out through the toes. I'm going to bend the knee and push the tailbone back and just sink into it until you feel that pull here through the inner thigh. And switch that over to the other side. So again, sink down enough that you feel that good stretch along the inner thigh. Get our bodies moving, get our joints oiled. So opening those inner thigh muscles really help us with aches around the hip. Once you've done it a few times, if you want to go a bit further, you could maybe bring a hand down and lengthen the other arm up. Over time. Hold just for a few seconds where it feels a little bit uncomfortable. And let's do that again. Apparently, that's where the magic happens, when you're slightly out of your comfort zone. Not too far though, it gets scary out there. Alrighty, one more on each side. Breathe. So, last one. Alrighty, and then let's bring our legs back in. We're going to come down onto the mat. Now's a good time to have a quick drink, especially if you're playing a bit of catch up. And breathe in and breathe out. Are you looking for online classes that support you with getting more me time? You want to get supple, strong, feel less stressed, get in the driving seat, but actually perhaps you've noticed that following videos on YouTube isn't actually helping you commit. It's not like the teacher reaches out and says, correct your hips, bring your knee back, move your posture back. And this is the problem. So, of course, you can hit subscribe to get more from the Zigs YouTube channel. But let's face it, we're not going to send our children to a school without a teacher or a tutor. I mean, what's their life going to be like if they're going to learn in that way? So my name's Claire Louise Freeman. I'm the business owner of Zigs Exercise, and I'd like to encourage you to join me and my community online, where we get together via Zoom and we practice Pilates conditioning, yoga stretches, mobility. And the thing is, we get to actually talk through this stuff. We get to do it together. And to me, consistently doing it together is the thing that gives us much, much better results than if we're left flailing around in front of a video trying to do it all by ourselves. So if you'd like more information about joining me and others, please reach out, get in touch. You can work with us morning, evening, from the comfort of your own home. It's great because you get all the kit together at home, and it does help you to practice in between as well. So I'm offering a complimentary kickstart call. We can talk through what's getting in the way, you know, why it's not worked so far. And sometimes the hardest bit is actually just picking up the phone and talking it through. So brave pants on. I work with all sorts of people from various walks of life, different shapes and sizes. And often people who do work with me do it because they say that I do it in a very non-judgmental way. Of course, it's free to talk, so you can click the link in the description box below and we can get to know each other and see if we're a good fit. There's no pressure here. On the call, I'll listen in to, you know, what you need support with, what your personal needs are, and I can answer any of your questions about our online Pilates and yoga, where we do it together in community. Why wait? This stuff doesn't get any easier as we get older. We work with lots of busy parents, grandparents, business owners, NHS professionals, private school teachers, regular school teachers. So if that feels like you and you need that support and accountability on getting it done, that's the thing. If we've got the sessions booked in regularly, that means we're much more likely to show up. And it's that regularity that people are often missing. You know, they take time off during holidays. It's the commitment that gets the motivation. So why wait? Book in, give me a call, and I'll see you on the other side. So always good to check on your own water levels. But yeah, drink regularly throughout the day today. We're going to do some tucks and then tap down. And it's that busyness that gets you with the health habits, that's for sure. So we're going to breathe out as we tuck, breathe in as we come down. So level 1, so we're going to keep the head on the floor. For those of you doing level 2, we're going to hover with the feet just off the ground. Level 3 today, we're going to do what Joseph Pilates called the seal, where we take 3 taps, 1, 2, 3, and then roll. So I guess it's a bit like a seal tapping its, what do you call them, wings? Flippers, I guess you'd call it. Or you can bark like a seal as well if you like. Not often you get a chance to bark like a seal and roll around the floor. Make the most of it. Last couple. Final one. And then let's do that sacroiliac stretch that we talked about for Jane C. So bring your knee in, across your body, and then we're going to leave the other arm trailing. Just use the hand to press your knee down. Leave your head looking towards your back arm. Now, as you do that, I just want you to close your eyes. Breathe into your belly. Press your back shoulder down. Breathe into your belly. Just take a moment to set an intention for your session today. How would you like to feel by the end of the class? And if we can roll over to the other side, so knee up to your chest. Use your hand to gently press your knee down, trailing the arm behind. Deep breath. Keep pressing your shoulder down. On that back hand, can you get it just above your shoulder line? Again, closing your eyes, just coming back to that intention. And let's roll to the center. And we're going to use this knee to rock ourselves up. We're going to crisscross through our legs and come up to a seated position like this. Okay, so from here we're going to reach up the arms and then go forwards with the hands quite wide and drop the chin in towards the chest. And as you hold it there, just wriggle your fingers forwards, breathing deeply. And then slide the hands back in, reach up, and then come forwards and down. Go wide with your hands. Again, drop the chin, wriggle the fingers forwards until you feel a pull, breathe, and slide back in. And you go a little bit further with each one now. So keep nudging the fingers forward, chin in, breathe. And let's do that one more time. And coming forwards and down quite wide with your hands. Extend into your fingertip ends. Chin in, breathe. And then we're going to switch the legs so we've got the other one over the top. Feet close in. Lengthen your back. Arms back by the ears and go wide with your hands again. Tuck the chin in. Chin to chest, wriggle the fingers forwards, breathe. And let's do that again. Particularly if you've had a busy, hectic day, imagine you're sort of blowing out on the exhale any tension, worries. And as you slide your hands in, imagine you're gathering healthy, positive energy. So exhaling out tension, worries, drawing in that calm, healthy, positive energy. So use this time as your breathing space. And just do that one more time. Okay, from here, we're going to take ourselves down onto our backs. We're going to do shoulder bridge. Now, if you want to, you can do a cushion between your knees. More advanced, you could do a foam roller under your feet, or you could use a ball. So choose the level that you want to do, or you could use both. Now, where you start your foot position could make a difference. So if my feet are really close in, I'm not really going to feel it very well around the hamstrings. Slightly away works, so sort of 90 degrees at the back of the leg. Too far away and it can get quite tricky on the lower back. So think about where you position your feet as you come up. Notice how it feels on this first one. So lifting up and then rolling down. If you need to adjust your feet, adjust them now. And if you're using the foam roller, as you come up, are your toes pointing up? Can you just angle them down slightly? Notice the difference your toes down can make. Let's give that another go. Curling up. Squeeze your knees. So if you're using a ball or something between your knees, or even if you're not using anything, squeeze them towards each other. And then imprint. And some of you might like to hover your arms, so the arms are just raised off the ground. Now, regardless of where your feet are, I want you to push down through your feet now. So you're sort of driving pressure down through your feet. Just going to do that twice more. So really activating the muscles around the back of the thighs, around the buttocks, and around the lower back. So last one. Alrighty, let's pop bits of kit over to one side. And we're going to focus on some Pilates mat work. Taking the opposite arm over the head as we lift a leg. Level 2, alternating, so a bit more speed. Third level, we do it with straight legs. Point your toes, whichever version you're doing. And you do 4 more. So last one, when you're done, pop your hands on top of your knees, and if you can circle like this, so circling out, round, and then back in, opposite way. Really let your back sort of arch a bit and then tuck, particularly if you've a bit of an achy back, let it arch and then tuck. And we're going round the other way again, arching and tucking, massaging your lower back against the ground. Notice how the back is feeling during this one. Breathe, reverse, arching and tucking. Alrighty, last one. Okay, can you find a stick? Now's a good time to grab a drink. Come and lay down on your side. Alrighty, so some sideline Pilates, head, shoulders, tailbone against the stick. And I want you to get a little bit of lift in your waistline before you start. So try to pick your waistline up. We're going to point the toes and then squeeze the bottom leg. Just hold for a couple of seconds, flex the feet, and then come back down. So pointy toes, top leg. Now is your waistline still lifted? Flex the feet and then come back down. Let's do that again. So pointy toes, keep the waist lifted. Now you can either keep going with that version or both legs lifted and a scissor front to back, both ways, and then back down. So next level. Now as you keep doing that, is your head and your tailbone still against the stick? The way Julia's positioned, it feels like that stick's going to poke in my eye. Alrighty, let's keep going. We'll just do 4 more. Pointy toes. And last one. I think that was 4. The menopause brain kicked in then. Seems to be struggling with numbers. Okay, let's give that a go on the other side. Okay, so head, shoulders, tailbone. Down on the other side. We want to get that good lift in the waistline. Pointy toes as we hover the top leg. And then if you squeeze your bottom leg, we're going to flex our feet and then come back down. So pointy toes, lift the waistline, flex, and then come back down. First level, notice what your top hip is doing as you lift your legs. Is it wandering backwards somewhere on a little mission? Can you try and just keep it nudge forward? You'll actually get a little bit more out of it in terms of your core activation. Next level, we add hover with both legs. We're going to split the leg forward and back. So 4 more to go. Come on, menopause brain, you can do it. 3 more. Last couple. And final one. Definitely feel it more today on one side than the other. Useful to observe. From here, we're going to go into a groin stretch. So if you can move over with your knees open, toes touch together, and then bring your elbows down. Arch your back on this one, so let your back arch and then push your bottom back towards your heels. So try and get that good feeling of stretching through the inner thighs where we've just been working on that last one. I'm also going to turn my toes out this way, like that, so they're pointing outwards. And sort of push the inner part of the heel down. Breathing deeply. Breathing into the belly. Just coming back to that intention that we set at the start of the session. Alrighty, let's release. So now's a good time to get some water. It's quite hot tonight, so let's keep topped up. You'll need some weights next, so if you'd like to find some weights. Ended up doing a podcast today with one of the local martial arts businesses about the history of Zigs, or a bit of the history. I'll share that when it comes out. Okay, so some weights. Try and find a weight that feels slightly uncomfortable but doable. Pull our elbows back, squeeze the shoulder blades as we open the hands, and then extending the arms, a little bit of lift, coming back in. I want you to think about your posture, so even load between the front of the foot and the heel, so feel for the ball of your foot and the heel in contact with the ground. Sometimes when we've had a stressy, busy day, we'll be in that lean position in the front of the foot, so being conscious and aware of the foot position, and then adding in a little tiptoe rise. Those of you who want to Progress on. We're going to stay with the arms wide, tiptoe balancing, and then coming back in, back to the heels. Again, we rise into the ball of the foot. And that turn. Can you look towards your hand at the back to test your balance? And I'm going to do that a couple more times through. Open across your chest and through your collarbones. And if it isn't feeling tough, pretty tough by the 10th one, you probably need to increase the weight a little bit. Alrighty, so final one. Alrighty, resting off. And we're going to move into doing some balance exercise next. So before you go into the lean on this one, I want you to feel for the buttock muscle. Try to lift your leg behind you with a pointy toe and feel the buttock muscle kick in. So get some height on the leg. Reaching the opposite arm forwards. And see if we can hold just for a few seconds. Oh, I'm off already. And then come back in and down. And then let's give that a go on the other side. So try to stay upright when you lift. And then let the leg leave your body. Reaching the opposite arm. Can you get that arm up by your ear? Breathe. And then transitioning with control to the other side. So we point the toes, lift, some height on the leg, extend the opposite arm up by your ear. Use your eyes, look at something still, steady the focus. Breathe. Now again, you can either stay with this version, or if you want to layer in a bit more challenge to your balance. Once you've got your arm up there, your leg, we're going to stay with the leg there and just touch the ground with the hand. And then back up by your ear. And then moving back to the center. So you extend the opposite arm and leg away. Once you're there, lowering the arm, tapping the fingertips to the floor. Raising the arm again. And we do that one more time each way. Breathe. Use your eyes, look at something still to steady the focus. So last one. Breathe. Alrighty, give your legs a shake. So coming back to doing some work for our arms now. Come down to all fours. If you can join me down on the mat again. So hands just slightly wider than your shoulders. You can pull your shoulder blades down. We're going to allow our chest just to lower towards the ground without too much arch in the lower back. So first level, just get used to lowering the chest without punching the shoulders when you're in the down position. So press your blades down your back. If you've got that good control over the blade, try it with your knees further back if you want to do the next level. Point your elbows inwards rather than outwards. More advanced, doing it from the toes. Can we do two more? Breathe. So final one. And then from here we lower to the ground. Notice I've got one knee up here. So if you bring your knee up here, opposite arm I've slid out to the side. And then with this arm over here, I'm going to push and turn away from my back arm. So I'm looking over the shoulder. We're sort of stretching around the pec and the front of the shoulder. Deep breath as you hold. Sort of feel like an iguana or something in this pose. There's probably a fancy name for it. Okay, let's release, come down. So we drop that knee, arms back in. So the other knee comes up, and we want the opposite arm straight out to the side. And then we push away with the other arm. And at the same time as pushing one arm into the ground, I'm pressing actually both palms down quite firmly to initiate the stretch. Turning the head to look over the shoulder, sort of looking behind, breathe. Quite a satisfying stretch to me. Hope it's the same for you. Alrighty, let's release and then bring our hands back in. From here, we're going to move to our downward dog. So if you can hook your toes underneath and press your heels down. So as you hold your downward dog, one of the questions sometimes people ask me is, should my heels be on the floor? Well, I guess sometimes it depends how flexy you are, but actually if your heels are very close to the floor, try walking your feet a little further back, because then you've got somewhere to stretch to, if that makes sense. So have your heels just slightly off the ground, but press down into your heels so that you've got that stretching effect happening. Breathe. Close your eyes. Breathe into your belly. Alrighty, from here we're just going to lower our knees so they hover just slightly off the ground. Pushing the ground away with the hands. Stretching now underneath the foot, under the toes. So Jane M, this is another way of tackling that underfoot area, lifting the heels, flexing into the toes. If you've got arthritic toes, it might be quite painful, so do what feels good. You don't have to hold it for as long as everyone else if that's you. And then from here, we're going to open the knees, sit back, lengthen, and just let your forehead rest down on the floor. When we're in this child pose, we're just going to wriggle our fingers forwards, sort of worming them forwards. Mine are caterpillaring actually. And then pressing your palms downwards until you feel a bit of pull underneath your armpits. Always good to stretch the pits. Not quite sure why, not worked that one out yet. Actually have worked with a few people who've had surgery around there, so yes, definitely good reasons to do it. Helps with our ability to lift our arm overhead. Deep breath. And just being thankful for that ability to stretch. Breathe again into your belly. Alrighty, so we're going to walk our hands back in and come over onto our backs. Is it me or is it getting hot in here? Grab some more water. Now's a good time. Okay, so down onto our backs. Let's focus on some more Pilates mat work. So I'd like you to slide your fingertips into the curve of your back. You can touch your fingertips together and pull your belly button muscle in. Feet together, slowly bringing the knees up. And as you slowly lower, to hover your toes just above the ground and then just tap them down. Do that again. Pointy toes as you do it, so you're pointing quite firmly into your big toe and then tapping down, keeping some pressure on your hands as you do it. Breathe. Now you might start to take your feet a little further away, you might be working your core and exploring that enough. Over time, going a little further out with your legs. Exhaling on the lift, inhaling on the lower. Now once you've got that, we're going to add some arms today for more advanced. You can do it with a bent leg if you like, so arms are going to go out over the top of the head as the legs lower down, but it does make it harder. Certainly for me, I'll get the shakes just where those feet are hovering above the ground. There's the judder. Can we do that twice more? Breathe. So final one. Alrighty, and then on your last one, if you let your legs come down, point your toes and then interlock your fingers like this above your head. That's it, and turn your palms outwards, arching back, breathe into your belly. And again, deep breath. Just enjoy a little bit of breathing space. And one more deep breath. Imagine you're filling up with positive, healthy energy. Exhaling out any tension and worries. One more time. Alrighty, from here, I'd like you to bend your leg, and if you can rock up. From here, I'm going to take one leg back and our opposite hand to the front foot on the floor, like this. Turning the upper body like this, pushing the ground away with that bottom arm. Deep breath. Bending our back knee and letting it drop to the ground as we unhook the foot at the back. Arms wide, let your hips sink down and through. Breathe. Now, for some of you, that may be enough. For more advanced, we're going to do this and get hold of the foot here. Heel towards your bottom. Wobbling optional. You might find a block or a cushion under that back knee useful if you're on a hard surface. Heel towards your bottom. And let's release off. Okay, we're going to go wide leg position next. Explore the stretch by wriggling your feet apart, hands down, let your head drop through and have a little look at the world from an upside down view. Rocking your body weight back to your heels and then rocking your body weight into your toes. So we go back to the heels and then into the toes. Just do that one more time, rocking. And we're going to turn, so we now face the other way. So opposite hand to the floor and then turning with the upper body. Pushing the ground away. Noticing where do we feel that good old stretch. Breathe. And just feeling for the floor with that back knee. Unhooking the toes at the back, and you bring your shoulders above your hips. And for those of you doing more advanced, can we feel for that back foot? Heel towards your bottom. Breathe. And let's release, coming to standing. Notice this foot is staying turned out, but this foot is sort of angling in at 45 degrees. So we slide the hand down the shin, moving into triangle pose. Now, often our body will sort of come forwards like this. Try to keep, imagine you've got a wall behind you. We want the head and the feet against the wall. Over time, sliding your hand from your shin to your ankle, and then over time from your ankle to touch the floor, or flattening your palm down behind. Breathe. Go on, Emma. Saw you try. There we are. Bending into the knee. And we're going to come up, kind of hailing action with this hand, and bringing this one down towards the back leg. Breathe. Alrighty, let's release into warrior pose, and then we'll switch the feet. So we're now turning out over here and angling in at 45 over this side. So we go long with our top arm. Breathe. So again, if you're against a wall, could you get your head and your feet aligned against the wall? Sliding from the shin to the ankle, and over time, sliding your flatter hand down. Breathe. Bending into the front knee, hailing position with this hand, palm coming down on the back leg, eye gaze turning up to the hand. Breathe. Let's release, feet together, and coming down to give our glutes a stretch. You take your right leg over your left, wrapping your hands just around the back of your left leg. Use your hands to pull the leg towards you until you feel a good stretch. Use your elbow to push your knee out. As you hold a stretch, I'd like you to score the intensity. 10 being, oh my God, that's like off the scale. 0 being no effort at all. So if you can aim for kind of 7-ish. Centralizing the body weight. And then for those of you who want to do more advanced, we're going to bring our fingers around the shin. Pulling in more firmly. Or for more advanced, we're going to straighten that bottom leg. Notice my nose is now coming towards my ankle bone. Let's release, and we'll give that a go on the other side. Go left over right, hands at the back of the thigh. Use your hands to pull the leg towards you. Centralize your body. And use the other elbow to push out. You could again score from 0 to 10. Breathe. Interlacing for those of you who want to. Coming in more firmly. And more advanced, we extend that bottom leg. Bring our ankle, nose towards each other. Breathe. Alrighty, let's release off. If you can let your feet just flop, let your arms flop. Close your eyes and just take a moment to sort of sink into the mat. And give yourself a little internal high five, a little bit of self-praise, and a little yay you moment. You got it done, you showed up, you made it through. So have a little mini win moment with yourself in the Zig zone. Feeling the back of your head, imagine it sort of sinking down into the mat as you let go of your body, relaxing down. Running your attention down through your arms, down through your upper body. Being conscious of the breath inside your belly. So take a deep breath in so your belly rises with air. And then a long exhale. Keep blowing out until you can't blow out any more air. Let's do that again. Filling up. And then emptying. Keep blowing out. Keep going. Keep going. Do that again. Long exhale. Keep going. And just feeling your breath settle back to its natural pace. Just observing the breath now, not changing it. Just being aware of it. Running your attention down into your lower back, around your tailbone. Notice if you're holding any tension there, imagine it's sort of emptying, like water emptying down through a shower plug. You might even give the water a colour as it empties. You relax down deeply. Letting go of any tension in the leg muscles. Feeling the heaviness of the heels against the ground. That sort of sensation around the soles of the feet, the toes. Sometimes a lack of sensation there. Just being aware. Letting your attention drift as you relax. Allowing yourself some time to be in the being mode and stepping out of the doing mode. Just taking a moment to notice how you're feeling now. What's the shift been in your energy in comparison to the start of the session today? And open your eyes. Just be aware of the surroundings, your peripheral vision. You kind of gather yourself. And if you can roll over to your side, I'm going to come up to a seated position and have a little stretch for our necks. So if you can drop your head to one side like this and a gentle pull, breathe. Let's do that the other way. So let your head drop, let it go heavy. Just use your hand to gently press down. Breathe. And then if you can park your hands just around the back of your head, nudge your chin down to your chest. Breathe. Okay, so I hope that's made a difference to your day. How are we feeling?